Hello again, you lovely people of the social. This week, the Trans Inquiry. If you don't know what the Trans Inquiry is, it's the Women and Equality Select Committee's investigation into the state of trans rights in the UK. It covered everything from access to services, the NHS, legal injustice, trans youth, how we're portrayed in the media, you name it, they wanted to know about it. And as part of this, many organisations gave their input into where we were going and what needed fix. Now the response to the inquiry had already been heavily delayed, so what better week to release it than the same week as the Chilcot report? Because that's a really good way to hide bad news. Quick, everyone's distracted, we'll just try and push this out and hope that nobody notices, right? Well, unfortunately for them, we did. Now the response is over 40 pages long and covers many key topics, which I don't have the time to go into all of them in this video, but I thought I would cover a few of them right now. Now trans people, just like cisgender people, can also commit crimes. Shocking, I know, it's almost like we're human beings or something. Like, what? And there's no clear figure on the number of people currently in the UK prison system that do identify as trans, but you can be sure of one thing, they're in the wrong one. Now don't get me wrong, if you commit a crime, you do the time, but we're still seeing many trans women being forced to serve their sentences in male prisons. Imagine your mother being put in a male prison. Pretty much the same for us. Could you imagine me in a male jail? Last year saw some high profile cases, notably Tara Hudson, who, after a very high profile campaign, was eventually moved from a male prison to a female one. Tara noted in interviews the abuse she'd received from men in jail, but unfortunately Vicky Thompson took her own life after no longer being able to cope. So you would think with the amounting evidence into how cruel, barbaric and the mistreatment of these prisoners, the government would want to move swiftly on that. Nope. They've announced a review of this, however, which is positive, but this review is to take place over 3 years. And let's face it, review doesn't mean action, right? Points were also raised during the inquiry about something known as spousal veto. Wait, spousal what now? Well, before England and Wales introduced same-sex marriage, it was necessary for trans people to end their marriages in order to gain legal gender recognition. Now this is no longer the case. Instead, trans people are lumped with a new challenge, and as the name suggests, their spouse must give permission. How crazy is that? Imagine you went to the hospital and you needed an operation and your partner went, no, you're not having that. Nope. But it's gonna make me feel so much better. Nah. Nope, I'm not into it. That's exactly what spousal veto is like. The legislation states that the spouse is consenting for the marriage to continue, but in reality they have the power to consent to or deny the person's gender being legally recognised. And if they don't give permission for that marriage to continue, then the trans person is blocked from having their gender legally recognised. And with that, the marriage continues to exist. But from this, the trans person is still given a set amount of time to end the marriage, during which the partner still has the power to refuse. Now, if they do this, then it usually leads to lengthy and expensive court proceedings. And during this time, they still don't benefit from the legal protections and gender recognition that they deserve. Now, in the recommendations to the government, the Women's and Select Committee said that the government must ensure that it is informed about the extent of this and ways of addressing the problem. And how did our lovely government reply to this? We will continue to monitor the issue because since the introduction in December 2014 of the gender recognition provisions of the Marriage, Same-Sex Couples Act, the Ministry of Justice can confirm that 74 married transgender people have successfully gained a gender recognition certificate. But as for the rest, we wrote a thing a while back that we think's pretty sound, so basically we're not going to change that. And this is just what they missed out in regards to us binary trans people. When it came to non-binary identities, they basically went, well, we see that exists, but not sure how to handle this. But look, it's not all doom and gloom. There are some positives to come from this. I've managed to take the report, print it off, and use it to fix the wobble on my table. Thanks very much, Westminster.